of St. Martin wish you a happy Labor Day. I would also like to take this opportunity to say congratulations to Elder Reed, to Sister Riley, and to the Sister Elshot on being the honorees for today. I'd like to thank you for your dedication, for your sacrifices, and for your continuous love and collaboration with the employers of St. Martin. It would be remiss of me to stand here as the representative of the employers on the tripartite committee for labor and act as though we have not witnessed within the 9 months a hurricane that will go down in history as one of the worst hurricanes to hit the Caribbean Sea. It will also be very naive of me to not acknowledge that there are employers and employees who are still trying to piece their lives together as a result of the various challenges that face us in the aftermath of this storm. And it would be downright rude of me to not acknowledge those of us who have been displaced and are currently not able to work, not because we do not want to work, but simply because the current economical situation of St. Martin does not afford us the opportunity to work. So, why do I stand here today and wish us a happy Labor Day? Why are we here celebrating workers who are sitting on their doorsteps waiting for that call for a job? And why are we here acknowledging workers who are out there pounding on doors and waiting for that call, that text, that email, that the job that they wanted is now available? Why are we here holding hands with employee representatives and government as employers in acknowledgement of a day that so many people have forgotten about because they're so overwhelmed with their daily troubles, bills, stresses, and obligations to their children and their family? One word: hope. When I was younger, I loved to swim. Back in those days, it was easy to sneak out to the lagoon and go fishing and swimming. One day I had the opportunity to swim in the pool, and with confidence I took off my floating device because, of course, I thought I was grown. I jumped in the pool and I sunk. I felt myself going down and I panicked because, of course, I could not breathe. And then something wonderful happened. I hit the bottom of the pool. Instinctively, I pushed up from the floor and eagerly took my first breath of fresh air. Luckily, I was not too far from the side of the pool and I grabbed on to the coping for dear life. I learned a few very valuable lessons that day. First of all, I knew I was not ready to swim without my floating device. Secondly, I knew my place. It was not at the deeper end of the pool without my floating device. Last but not least, I knew that no matter what the situation was, when I went down, I had to find my footing and ensure that when I hit rock bottom, I didn't stay there, but that I used the hard surface to spring up to safety. The past almost 9 months have been hard on us all. We've seen our world literally turned upside down for employers, employees, and government. I can stand here and list all of the troubles that we are currently facing, but there's not enough time nor words to list them all. What I will say, however, is that there must be hope. There must be that faith that, like the magnificent flamboyant tree that suffered from scars on its trunk and broken limbs during the storm, that we too will bloom and flourish as we island people know how to do. There must be that hope. There must be that hope, like the majestic pelican, that we too will soar out of the despair and depression that we have gone through and are still going through. We must have that hope. That hope that just like the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, that St. Martin will rise again in all of its glory. There must be that hope. I do not subscribe to the concept of our new norm. I cannot stand here and say that we should accept the cards that has been dealt to us post-Irma. I cannot just sit and give up. If I do, and if employers do, then we will have no businesses and people to employ. We must forge forward. We must keep on moving on. And yes, we must acknowledge where we are and do what is necessary to get us to where we have to be. This is not our new norm. This is not our reality. We must work together as government, employers, and employees for the sake of the greater good to realize the St. Martin that we all want to have. This is not time for egos. It's not time for games. It's not time for unfairness. This is not time for wheeling and dealing in matters that will only benefit a chosen few. There is no time to waste. We are not carcasses waiting for the vultures to pick us apart. And trust you me, there are other islands waiting for us to give up and for win the towel as the premier place to visit in the Caribbean. But no, we are not victims. We are victors. We have hope, and we, as St. Martin people, know how to use it. So yes, I stand before you today as a representative of employers on the Tripartite Committee for Labor. On May the 1st, 2018, 235 days after Hurricane Irma has passed us, and I say that she may have broken our businesses, she may have broken our homes, she may have broken our cars, she may have broken our schools and our relationships, she may have broken our skin and our bones, but she will not break our spirit.
Tell them, connecting you.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
But the significance of the 8 hours per day work is what we're actually celebrating on this May 1st. It's an international decree, and workers in the Caribbean has to be credited I'll give him much applause for that, because the challenges that we faced, and we got the cooperation of our fellow workers, organizations in North America and in Europe, especially the industrialized countries where the working hours and the masses were exploited. Why this meeting was held so many years ago and established at this day. And it must be noted that in Chicago, where was a spotlight for the May Day celebration, hundreds of workers were killed by the powers that be because they refused to work and they stood up in solidarity with their brothers and sisters all over the world. Here on St. Martin, we have different challenges, especially after Irma. Many workers today, as the minister mentioned as he drove around, when we pass around and we see persons up to this day still sleeping in their vehicles because their homes are no longer there, it grieves our heart. And while I want to bring this point forward, because as a trade union we have many court cases which, with the assistance of the Labor Department, we hopefully that the judge, based on ILO standard of decent work and our own labor laws, will give the workers rights will be vindicated. You know, it must be understood that many companies decide on their own to cut workers' work week, cut workers' work day, from the premise that no work, no pay. And that is not legal, that's contrary. Because while they use the labor laws as a scapegoat, they only use one segment of the law and refuse to read the other portion of the laws. And that is what we are really challenging. And on this day, when we remember that work is important, and all of us, we are workers in some form or fashion. As long as you're not the owner of a business, you're an employee and you collect your salary that classifies you as an employee, and you have certain fundamental rights. I thank God for the ILO and the role that Caribbean trade unions played in establishing the ILO. And for many years, one of our brothers from Barbados, Brother Trotman, has been holding very top position in the ILO for many, many years, whereby recognizing the importance of Caribbean workers. And we must not underestimate the role of the Netherlands Antilles workers and their role in playing their part in Caribbean labor history. One of the last fundamental rising of the labor movement in the Caribbean was on Curacao. And we know the history of that. Many of us had our parents in those islands, especially after the First World War, when the Caribbean again was used to support the Allies to two major facilities in the Caribbean, which was at the Curacao Dockyard and the Lago Oil Refinery in Aruba. Workers from the Caribbean migrated. This is also important for which we know as Caribbean people. Caribbean people is a people that migrates, go from one island to the other when economic development is there. We've been to Santo Domingo, we've been to Cuba, we've been to the Virgin Islands. I remember a couple years ago, I went to Tarpola and we stayed at a hotel, and I spoke to the room attendant. She was a lady from St. Martin, from Friendside, who said she'd been living there for so many years. I said, this is a reflection of Caribbean people, and wherever we travel, we are given names. When I read the story of the Panama Canal, I realized that it was Caribbean workers who went there and helped build the Panama Canal. Most Caribbean workers went via Barbados, and they were all called Bajans in Panama. And it's happening still in the Caribbean. If you go to New York, all Caribbean people are called Jamaicans, same thing as in England.
Tell them. Connecting you.
People all across St. Martin are switching to a more rewarding experience. The WIB MasterCard Fun Miles credit card, better known as My Card. Earn 1 Fun Mile for every $2 spent, even abroad and online. This will quickly get you a ton of Fun Miles to redeem for travel, shopping, food, fuel, and much more. But there's more to My Card. Worldwide acceptance, an EMV chip for extra security, and 250 free Fun Miles with first use. Switch to My Card today at WIB.
Fun miles, from within your reach.
Today, first of all, it's a celebration. It's a recognition for all the contributions from workers from over many years up till today. And of course, St. Martin, if we're going to build back and build back better, it's going to be the workers who are going to make that process happen. And so it was really a celebration, a recognition for all the contributions of the workers and of unions. I would say I also tempered the message a bit, and recognizing that these are going to be probably the most challenging years for St. Martin going ahead. There's certainly not enough money in terms of insurance money, in terms of relief funds, in terms of capital in our economy to really build back better. And so it's going to be a real challenge to figure out how St. Martin's going to do it. I suspect there's going to be some difficult times ahead. I assured the unions and the workers that the Ministry of VSA has been working diligently to make sure that we have resources for the ministry to perform our job, and also that we have resources for the many programs that we're trying to put in place to make sure that we're there to help the workers and people who really need assistance in the community. And to stress the message, the theme for the meeting was about solidarity and unity. And I think St. Martin really, if we're going to build back better, it's about all of us working together. It's about all of us coming together, trying to understand that businesses are in as much trouble as employees are, and that we shouldn't waste our energies on fighting with each other, but really working together, coming together, and trying to figure out how we're going to build this country back better than ever.
We heard the President of WIFO calling on parliamentarians to make amendments to the labor laws. He stressed a great deal on the international labor law, which in turn has been having a negative impact on that of St. Martin as it has not been amended. Is that something that you're willing to look into as well?
Of course. In general, my experience as a minister has been that many of our laws across the board are outdated. You see it especially after Irma. Laws that you need to try to facilitate the reconstruction process just aren't there. Labor laws are no different. If you remember, actually, we have a agreement signed between unions, business, and government about a whole labor reform. So, for sure, I agree that there's many laws that need to be revised, and unfortunately, the process is a little bit slow, and especially as we're in sort of a crisis management mode, unfortunately, a lot of resources are getting allocated towards, how do we deal with the most pressing needs. But legislation is certainly one of the things that's a priority. And, look, I think we have a great thing going with the tripartite. We have good dialogue between unions, business, and government. We have a great basis for cooperation, and I think a lot can be done as long as we have a stable government.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
In my opinion, everything is perfect and you would be great for the job. But I see here that there's a 2-year gap in your resume. What did you do?
I was hospitalized for mental illness.
Oh, mental illness?
I've undergone treatment and I have a wonderful family that supports me.
Well, that is good news.
No, it's fine. I'm recovered.
We'll contact you, okay?
For a better understanding of mental health and what you can do to stop mental health stigma, please go to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.
Hello, St. Martin. My name is Stephanie Medina and I play football with the Walichi Women's Soccer team. I have represented St. Martin in many different games. For example, the Dutch Caribbean Women's Soccer Cup. I played against Bonaire, Aruba, and Curacao right here in this stadium. Sports matter to me because it makes me happy, it keeps me fit and healthy, and it is very fun. So I asked the business community to take on this challenge and help us rebuild our facilities. And I also asked the community to nominate the local businesses in your area and take on the challenge and step up for sport. Why? Because sports matter. Check out the Department of Sport Facebook page for more information. #SportsMatter, #AreYouIn.
On behalf of the Democratic Party, the Democratic Party family, and all of the friends of the late Mr. Joseph Richardson, I wish to extend condolences to his family and friends. I know that Joe has fought a valiant fight against cancer and succumbed in the end. So again, our prayers are with his family at this time, and they have a legacy. He left a legacy behind that I believe family, friends, and community can be proud of. and has served this nation in so many different capacities. So it is with the memory of that legacy that I believe we can say farewell, while of course feeling that sadness and grief, but knowing that he contributed immensely to St. Martin.
Well, I first of all would like to extend my condolences to his family. I knew him as a young child when he was the administrator of SEBA, and looked up to him like a sort of role model he was to all of us young people. And from being with him and working with him, I know that he's had a great impact in helping to shape this society to what it is today. So may his soul rest in peace, and may the work that he started continue. And may we all who are here just continue walking the road that he has started.
If I may divert your attention somewhat, MP, the leader of Whitehall has called on parliamentarians to make amendments to the labor law. You were sitting right here when he called on parliamentarians to address the issue as soon as possible. Is that something that you're willing to look at as an MP at this time?
Absolutely. You know, St. Martin is built on the hard work of all our laborers. And so I think we must do whatever we can to ensure that they're treated fairly and their rights are upheld. So if laws come to Parliament, and I believe that as parliamentarians, these are things that we should look at to ensure that the rights of the workers are upheld.